Yo, what's up guys? So today I want to make another video talking about the benefits of high reps for powerlifting, and I wanted to today explain it in a new way. So let's say you have a box and you're trying to fill up the box with stones, and you're trying to fill up the box so there's as little air or as little room as possible so you get as close as possible to filling the box up. Let's say it's like a 1 foot box or whatever, okay? So I'll give you a few different options. Let's say you have 3 big stones and you use those 3 big stones to fill up the box, or you have 10 medium-sized stones to fill up the box, or you have 20 small-sized stones to fill up the box. Which one is going to get as close as possible to filling up the box? Obviously the 20 small stones, if you know all 3 options are about the same size as a box. The 20 small stones, you're going to get as close as possible to filling up the box with as little air as possible. Now, how does this relate to powerlifting? How does this relate to high rep training? Well, the metaphor, the comparison, is training to failure. And that is, if you take a set of 3, you might have had 3.5 reps. So you're not getting that close to failure. Or you might have had 2 3/4 reps and you don't finish the 3rd rep. Doing a set of 3, you can't get that accurate to your exact point of failure. Now, if you take a set of 10 and you had 11 reps, well, that's around 90%. You got pretty close to your point of failure. But when you start training like 15 to 20 reps with pretty, moderate weight that isn't that light, you're getting really close to your exact point of failure, guys. You get what I'm saying? You're getting really close to your exact point of failure. It's like 445 for 15 today. That was really close to my exact point of failure. I might have had 1 more rep, but so that's benefit 1. With training in, say, the 15 to 20 rep range, you can get really close to your exact point of failure versus doing like 3 reps or 5 reps. You don't know exactly how close you are to your limit. Now, benefit 2, it's more total workload, okay? I talk about this a lot. Let's say you do a set of deadlifts, 300 pounds for 20. That's 6,000 total pounds. Versus 405 or 400 for 10, that's 4,000. Versus, say, 500 for 1, that's only 500. So when you compare 500 for 1, 500 total pounds, 400 for 10, 4,000, or 300 for 20, 6,000, you're getting the most total workload with the 300 for 20. And I think if we're hardworking, if we're genuine, if we want the best results, if we want to get strong, we should want to put in work. We shouldn't be intimidated by hard work and everything like that. Now, the third benefit of high rep training is it will transform your physique like nothing else. And I find the sweet spot is like the 15 to 20 rep range, or maybe the 10 to 20 rep range. All right, so what I'm saying, guys, is high rep training, I find, transforms your physique in terms of building muscle and burning fat more than like training in the 1 to 5 rep range. And as I was saying, I find the sweet spot is the 10 to 20 rep range. Now, why does it transform your physique so much? Well, most people would agree that hypertrophy occurs a lot in like the 8 to 15 rep range. I would argue the 10 to 20 rep range, but same difference. That's a reason bodybuilders train with a little higher reps than powerlifters. And as a result, bodybuilders have more muscular, lean, aesthetic physiques than powerlifters for the most part. But there's no reason you can't have the best of both worlds. There's no reason you can't have some of your training be heavy weights in the 1 to 5 rep range, but a lot of your training also be in the 10 to 20 or 15 to 20 rep range. And if you include sets in the 15 to 20 rep range, not only will you be building, raw, strong strength in the 1 to 5 rep range, but you can also look like a bodybuilder too. You can have an aesthetic, muscular, lean physique. So I would argue if your goal is to build muscle and burn fat at the same time and get strong, choose a moderate weight in the 10 to 20 rep range. I really find that's the sweet spot. And I've said this before, but if you think training in the 10 to 20 or 15 to 20 rep range is a cop-out for using lightweight or pussy weight, it's really not. Today I did 445 for 15. Unless you're like a 900-pound deadlifter, that's not like super lightweight. So it's not like I'm like, training like a bitch doing like 225 for 20 or 15, which would be pussy weight. No, I'm doing 445 for 15. Point I'm trying to say is you can choose a moderate weight for high reps. Don't choose a lightweight or an easy weight for high reps. Choose a moderate weight for high reps, and then you'll build strength and burn fat and build muscle. So let's say you have a little bit of extra fat on your physique, you have a spare tire or whatever. Let's say you're sitting at like say 15, 20, 25% body fat, and you're looking for the way to transform your physique very quickly, or just not even quickly, but just transform your physique. Try high reps, man. Try taking a moderate set on bench press or squat or deadlift, training like in the 15 to 20 rep range, and it will literally translate the fat on your stomach into muscle. I kid you not, that's what happens. Like, there is a way to build muscle and burn fat at the same time. And in my opinion, the secret is high rep training. I really feel like that's the key. So that's my video for today, guys. Now, not to mention, I really do feel like high reps actually does build strength just as well as low reps. Part of the reason why is because you can progress very gradually. So I have a program I'm implementing right now to get me from, what I've been doing recently, 405, 425, 445, all the way up to 700 for one on the deadlift. Now, I know I've been talking for a while, so I'll wrap this up in a second, but the point is, the way this program works is I start off with 405 for some reps, then 425, then 445. And then what I'm gonna do is add about 10 or 20 pounds every workout and either keep the reps the same or decrease them by 1 to 2. Every workout I'm doing as many reps as possible. So kind of the way it'll work. Today I did 445 for 15, then I'll do 455 for 15, 465 for 15, 475 for 14, 495 for 12, 505 for 11, 525 for 10, 535 for 9 to 10, 545 for 9 to 10, 565 for 8, 585 for 5 to 6, 605 for 3 to 4, etc., until I reach 700 for one. So that's a great style of training that I would recommend for you, that start with like a 20 rep max and just add 10 or 20 pounds every workout and gradually build up to a 1 rep max. I learned that from powerlifter George Lehman, who used to be able to deadlift 900 plus pounds. So yeah, I mean, if you want me to design a program for that, like that for you, where you start with a 20 rep max and build up to a new 1 rep max, send me a DM. I'd be happy to make that for you for free. But yeah, if anyone wants a progression like that, because I'm pretty good at gym math in terms of knowing how much to increase the weight every time so that you're progressing, but adding 10 to 20 pounds and losing a rep or two. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I've been talking a lot. I'm on a lot of caffeine, but you get the point. I just wanted to explain why I'm a big believer in high reps and why you should be too. For bodybuilding, for powerlifting, for fat loss, for muscle building, also it increases your technique. You really get in the groove of learning how to use really good form and what form works for your leverages in terms of arm length, leg length, torso length, and everything like that. So that's about it for today, guys. Just want to really explain the benefits of high reps, because I see a lot of powerlifters exclusively train in the 1 to 5 rep range. I think that's a mistake. No judgment, but I think that's a mistake. I think you get a lot of benefits training in the 10 to 20 rep range, along with occasionally training in the 1 to 5 rep range, or you could do half and half. So that's about it, guys. Hope this helps. God bless.